When we were young, we often heard the elders say something peculiar, something we never quite understood at the time. They would say, in a marriage, the one who passes away first is the lucky one. Back then, we'd laugh it off or even argue with them. We thought, how could anyone consider dying first a blessing? But as the years rolled by and the seasons of life changed, we started to see the world through different eyes, weathered eyes, softer eyes. Now, as a 63-year-old woman who has lived through love, loss, and loneliness, I finally understand the painful wisdom behind those words. A partner lost and a lesson learned. My name is Margaret Hill. I'm 63 years old, retired for a few years now, living alone in a quiet suburb outside of Seattle. I have a monthly pension of $3,400 and a daughter named Emily, who's married with 2 young children of her own. My husband, Daniel, passed away 3 years ago. We were married for over 35 years. He was my best friend, my other half, the person who shared my mornings, my jokes, and even my silences. And when he died, a part of me left too. He was just shy of retirement. We had big plans, road trips down the Pacific Coast Highway, photography classes together, jazz concerts at the park, tea on the porch while watching the golden hues of sunset. We were going to grow old the way we dreamed, gently and together. But fate had another plan. Daniel passed after a 3-month battle with pancreatic cancer. It was brutal and fast. And in those final days, he held my hand and whispered, "I'm the lucky one, Maggie. I got to love you. I just wish I could stay longer." I tried to be strong, but I cried. Oh, how I cried. And now, in my quiet house, I still cry. Why the first to leave has the blessing? You see, I now understand why the elders used to say, the one who goes first is fortunate. There are 3 reasons why. 1, they don't have to endure the gut-wrenching pain of losing their life partner. Daniel didn't have to wake up in our bed alone. He didn't have to eat at our kitchen table with just 1 plate. He didn't have to walk into the living room and feel the emptiness of the air. 2, they don't carry the unbearable loneliness of years that follow. I do. And let me tell you, this loneliness is not poetic. It's cold. It's sharp. It shows up at night, in your dreams, or when you're putting away laundry and come across one of his old t-shirts. It sneaks up when you catch a whiff of his cologne from a stranger in the supermarket and your heart skips, hoping it might be him. But it never is. 3, they don't have to master the art of being okay alone. People say it's peaceful to live alone. And in some ways it is. But that peace comes with a high price. It takes strength, resilience, and 1,000 tiny battles with your own thoughts. It's peace laced with memories that whisper instead of shout. So yes, I truly believe now, Daniel, by leaving first, was spared the worst part of growing old. Doing it without the one you loved most. Choosing to live alone, and not with my daughter. After Daniel passed, my daughter Emily insisted I move in with her family. Her husband is kind, the kids are adorable, and they even have a guest room with its own bath. But I said no. I know people might not understand that, but here's why. 3 generations under one roof can create more tension than harmony. We have different routines, different values, different ways of spending a Sunday afternoon. I didn't want to become a burden or a quiet source of resentment in the corners of their lives. I've come to believe that expecting children to care for us in old age is not fair. Not anymore. Times have changed. Life is demanding, and our children are navigating enough as it is. I don't want to be someone's obligation. This old house is filled with the footprints of my life. It holds the echoes of Daniel's laughter, the lullabies I sang to Emily, the aroma of Sunday roasts, the squeaky floorboard in the hallway where we slow danced on our anniversary. This house is my memory box, and I'm not ready to close the lid. So I told Emily not to worry. If I need you, I'll call. Until then, we both live our lives. I believe our relationship is healthier this way. Respectful, not tethered. Loving, not dependent. Love story of ordinary people. Daniel and I weren't rich. We didn't have a big wedding. No engagement party. We were college sweethearts at a technical university in Kansas City. Back in those days, dating on campus was frowned upon, so we became secret pen pals, passing notes during class, writing long letters that expressed feelings too tender for teenage tongues. By the grace of luck or God, we were both assigned to the same aerospace company after graduation. Daniel was placed in manufacturing, and I joined the design department. Within a week, we came out as a couple. We got a tiny one-bedroom apartment on the 5th floor. No elevator, just us and our dreams. No dowry, no handouts, just 2 suitcases, 2 hearts, and a shared will to build a life. 3 years later, Emily was born. Childcare was a nightmare. Daniel's mom had arthritis and couldn't help. My mother was already raising my nephew. We scraped enough to hire a part-time nanny. Most months, we survived on one income and lived paycheck to paycheck. But we always ate dinner together, always played with Emily, and never missed a single parent-teacher conference. Later, when Daniel got a scholarship to attend a 3-year professional program out of state, he hesitated. "Can you manage Emily on your own?" he asked. I smiled. "We've made it through harder things. Go." So he did, and I managed, because that's what love does. It builds its own courage. After he was gone, and now he's gone, there are moments when I call out to him by accident. "Dan, could you bring me a glass of water?" And then I remember, he's not here. Or I'll make dinner, set the table for 2, only to sigh and put the second plate away. I've spent many nights with a damp pillow, whispering his name into the dark. There were nights I dreamed of him, of our early days, of shared coffee, of laughter, and then I'd wake, reaching for him across the bed, only to find cold sheets. Yes, the one who leaves first is the lucky one. They don't carry this hollow ache. They don't bear the daily reminders of absence, living for the both of us. But here's what I've come to believe now, after 3 years of mourning. Those of us who are still here must live, not just for ourselves, but for the ones we lost. I now walk in the park every morning. I talk to the trees. I've taken up watercolor painting and joined a small book club at the local library. I volunteer at the community center, sometimes baking for the holiday drives. I've made peace with solitude. I've turned loneliness into a quiet companion instead of a loud monster. I tell myself, you're living for Daniel now too. So live beautifully. On Sundays, I still go to the cafe we both loved. I order the same tea he used to drink. I leave his seat empty, because grief isn't about forgetting. It's about remembering with less pain, more gratitude. In closing, dear friends, especially those of you walking this same path, let me tell you this. Marriage is like a train ride. Some passengers get off early, others continue the journey. But the memories, the shared laughter, the love, they stay. So if you're the one still riding the train, don't waste it. Don't curl up and disappear. Open the window. Watch the landscape change. Take a photo. Try a new recipe. Visit that place you and your spouse dreamed of. Write their name in the sand. Sing their favorite song. Because if they loved you truly, they'd want you to live, not mourn endlessly. Love deeply, even if the one you love is no longer at your side. As the author Madeline L'Engle once said, the great thing about getting older is that you don't lose all the other ages you've been. And as I sit here with a cup of tea, writing this letter to strangers who may know exactly how I feel, I send you my love, my strength, and my hope. Thank you for spending these minutes with me. If anything I've said resonates with you, I invite you to share it with someone who might need it. Subscribe if you'd like more stories like this, because together we are not alone. Until next time, let's grow, let's heal, let's keep walking slowly, beautifully, tenderly, even if we walk alone. We'll meet again in the next story. Take care.